What's going on, Ratio MVP member, and welcome to the Life Changing Perspectives page, specifically the one for digging your trench. And I just want to take some time and explain what digging your trench really means and why I have found it to be one of the foundational things you need to understand when moving forward in any aspect of your life. When you're looking to progress, oftentimes we lack accountability. And for those of you who have worked with me just in the nutrition and fitness realm, and now we're talking life, right? Lifestyle changes and life perspective changes to, actually live that fulfilled life. It really came down to mental toughness. It came down to our perspectives, our beliefs, how we viewed things, but really what internal mechanisms we had in order to hold ourselves accountable. And when it came to these internal mental mechanisms, those are the things that are missing. And this is one foundational mechanism or one foundational mental tool that I believe is going to springboard you to only move forward. Because mentally, inside our mind, inside our emotions, inside our soul, we're not just going to draw a line in the sand like you hear. We're going to dig a trench. We are going to dig a trench. There's a couple different reasons for this. Number one, you draw a line in the sand, what can happen? It can go away. How? Wind could blow sand over it. All of a sudden the line's gone. Someone could come in and mess it up. Your line's gone. The tide could come in, wash it away. Or you yourself just step right back over that line. You see, a line in the sand is 10 times easier. 10 times easier to wash away, blow away, wipe away, and just move it. It's so easy to step back over it and just fall right back into places and habits where you were before. Now think of a trench. How do you make a trench? Well, it takes work. You have to dig it. You have to use tools to dig it. And those tools are mental tools. We are mentally digging our trench. Now, instead of having one line here, one line there, just one line, as people like to think of it, you have to understand that you're going to have a network of trenches because they're going to have to be in different areas of your life. But first, let's go back to this real quick. Can you easily, once your trench is dug, can you easily move it? Can you easily let it get washed away? Can it easily get blown away? Well, some would argue, literally, depends on how deep that trench is. Well, this trench is going to be so deep that you can't just easily move it, blow it away, or wash it away, or even step over it. Because when you walk up on a trench versus a line in the sand, which one are you going to pay more attention to? Which one all of a sudden your hair and everything starts and your senses are hyper because you're aware of your surroundings more? Probably the trench. And that's what's going to bring us present. Because when you have a line in the sand, you just step over. It's like a crack in the sidewalk. But over time, your trench is going to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in every aspect of your life. Now, remember how I said it's a network? It's not just one line, like everyone likes to say. And that's a fault that I've seen in this whole development process is it's a network. So you're going to have a trench for your family. You're going to have a trench for your fitness, health, and wellness. You're going to have a trench for your work. And you're going to have a trench for every other important area of your life. And eventually you're going to see that these trenches are going to coexist. And you're going to form a network of trenches, a network of hard limits where you are going to be able to hold yourself mentally accountable, emotionally accountable, spiritually accountable, and only move forward. Because you don't want to fall into a trench because you could get hurt. And you already know what's on the other side of that trench. So you want to do as much as you can to not fall back on the other side of that trench. That's why digging a trench is more powerful. And understanding you're going to have to dig multiple trenches and it's going to take time. You have to have that as your expectation. But you have to understand and believe in what I'm telling you, because this is what I do. I have trenches. There are some things I will not cross. I will not cross or even attempt to jump over that trench because I know that trench is so wide and so deep that I will miss the jump and I will fall worse into the trench than even going back to the bad habits. because once you fall into the trench, now you're in a spiral of beating yourself up for even allowing yourself to fall back. So you want to keep forward. You don't want to go down that spiral. You don't want to go back to the bad habits. We're going to dig your trench. And that's what you need to do. Instead of drawing a line in the sand, commit right now to digging your trench. So how do you do that? Very simple. Identify where you don't want to be again. And then you ask yourself a simple question. Let's say you're faced with a food option in front of you or a money option, and you want to be wealthy or you want to be more healthy. If we're going with the healthy way, we're going to go, hey, would the healthier version of myself choose the Big Mac or a chicken sandwich made at home? Chicken sandwich made at home. Boom. You just made that trench one layer deeper. Now, if you're looking to become wealthy or be more financially free, or you don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, it's very simple. Would a wealthy person or someone who's living paycheck to paycheck pay for that Spotify membership? Or is what I'm paying for serving my end goals? Because maybe that Spotify membership comes with developmental podcasts or Audible, an audiobook app, is working into your professional development, your personal development. So that one could argue that, yes, it feeds into my end goal, but does Netflix feed into your end goal? Then you say, okay, would a financially responsible, more wealthy, not living to paycheck person pay for something that's not feeding into my end goal? Chances are they wouldn't. So now all of a sudden you make the commitment, you know what, stop the Netflix. Now you have more time to focus in your other priority areas. And that just digs that trench even more, which is a very, very good example of how your trenches combine. So by cutting back on that Netflix membership because you want to be more financially free and stop living paycheck to paycheck, you can now focus in other areas of your life, which means now you have time to go use that gym membership that you've had. So you see how trenches are going to coexist together. They are going to form your network of success. And when the floods come and when the winds come and when someone tries to fill in those trenches, they're going to be too far and too deep that you'll be able to dig them right back out, because you'll be able to bounce right back to the good habits and disciplines that you formed. That's another reason for digging a trench, because it instills so deep the roots of your disciplines that when objections come and obstacles come, you're going to be able to dig right back out of it. You're going to be able to climb out of that trench. So with that being said, welcome to one of the foundational principles. Go dig your trenches, identify things that you can do that help you feed those trenches, that help you dig those trenches every single day. There are going to be days where no digging happens, and that's okay. Or it might get filled up a little bit, but that's the exception, not the rule. The rule is you're going to make a decision every single day in order to dig that trench. So with that being said, enough of me bumping my gums. Go dig your trench.